Alright, so here we have one of our repository areas for the giant lira seedlings that we had delivered from one of our nursery providers for the trees. And you can see that the natural shade of the mavule tree, which is a very large tree that we've placed them under, is providing a perfect shade cover for them while they wait for the right timing for us to put them into the actual ground. So this is about half of a batch. The total batch was about 18,000 plus. So yeah, quite a large number of seedlings, as you can see, and areas like this on the farm would be used over and over again for this type of depository, and then from here they'll be loaded up again into wheelbarrows and into trucks going out to their respective planting areas. And so for us on this one, we're about 300 meters from the actual area where we will be planting, but there's two things. Is number one, it's a protected area because it's very close to our house, so it's easy to monitor, and number two, it's right next to a water tower where we get a lot of water so that we can keep maintaining their health as we go along. So during transportation they get under stress, so you can see some yellowing and you can see some sloping, but these lira trees are so hardy, even at the young seedling stage, they do tend to survive very, very well. So our survival rates with the lira during transportation and handling are much higher than a lot of other seedling varieties. And of course we're taking good care of them, so they're well watered, they're well shaded, and they're protected from wind, and as much as possible we keep the dogs off of them because sometimes the dogs will go and lie down on them, but it really doesn't do that much damage. As soon as we get them planted into the ground, then they're off to the races. They go and they live their life. Alright, hey everybody. Aaron Elton here. We're standing on Priceless Farms where we're doing our Ventry plantation, our first little 10-acre site here behind me. And you can see that this is a big open field. This is a valley area, and this is the first time that we've actually opened up these soils, probably ever. This is quite an outlying area in Uganda where you have subsistence farming and cattle grazing happening quite a bit. So this area has been periodically burnt, probably for the last 20 years, twice a year, in a sort of slash and burn style of agriculture. And so because we're in a valley, we have really good dark soils, so there's a lot of fertility still here in the land. And what we're doing now is we're transitioning towards a more sustainable form of agroforestry. So we're using the lira tree to establish a canopy cover, if you will. There's three different phases of cultivation, for small polewood to craftwood to much larger planks in about a 6 year to 7 year period, and we're just now waiting for some rain to come, whereby then we can actually start doing the planting. Because we're planting so many trees over such a large area, it's very important that we have a big dump of rain to saturate the soils with the water so that we're not having to do the work of watering them ourselves. You can lose a lot of seedlings that way. And this season, 2018, we're in October right now, we were expecting to have a lot more rain by now. However, just different areas in the country and different areas in the district, you'll get rains at different times, and the weather has become quite unpredictable over the last decade. So Ugandans have been having a very difficult time with their predictability of the weather. It used to be very predictable and dependable, so people were able to plant their crops just at the right time in the season, and then they could get steady, stable rains for about 3 to 4 months. Whereas now, it's kind of like somebody's playing with the tap. It's off, it's on, it's here, it's there, and it's a bit more spotty. And so we're just hoping that we're going to get rains within the next week or so. Once that happens, we come in, we finish tilling the land. You can see now it's still quite rough because we've only turned it twice to open it up and soften it up. And that's very important when you're establishing one of these plantations, because we have a high clay content in this soil because it's in a valley, and it's just the nature of the area that we're in. So we're opening it up so that the roots can establish themselves very well, the water can penetrate very well, and we can really get a very nice plantation here. As that plantation goes in, our farmers and our farming community can then come in and start to plant various different crops like pumpkins and onions and kale and carrots, you name it, in and amongst the lira tree, because the lira plantation is actually very easy to intercrop vegetables with. And so we're going to give that a shot and hopefully get a little bit more bang for our buck to help sustain the project and move the project forward in an economically viable way. So there you have it.